order to create the manuscript or the interior of the book, we would need to go ahead and create it. So there's no way of creating it if we're not going to create it. But do not complicate things because it's very simple. The way we're going to create it is very simple. Now, the first thing I want you to do is please go to Creative Fabrica. Now, remember, Creative Fabrica is not a free software. Most of the times you'd find that the downloads are not for free. But if you pay $1 or $1, not $1 because $1 is just $1. It's not that much. But if you pay $1, you get to have it for 7 days and you get to download all kinds of things that you want. And so, but some people, when they subscribe to a certain software, for example, such as Creative Fabrica or any other software, the mistake that they do is that they just use it as if they're going to have the plan forever. And that's not how it goes. So once you are on these platforms, make sure that you squeeze the juice out of them, squeeze the daylights out of them, or, just take downloads as many things as you want. I mean, just go and create a file and make it, go and work for 16 hours. Download everything. Just download everything. You never know because you could use those things. And so, but when you just get a membership for $1 for 7 days, and then obviously you need to renew it, you'll figure that you will need to renew it every single time. But the problem is that it could be expensive. So if you have a plan, let's say you want to publish 2,800 books this month, 2,800 coloring books, I mean, just go on this site, like for example, Creative Fabrica. And if you have a plan about the books that you're going to publish, let's say, for example, you want to publish 10 coloring books, 10 log books, 10 sketch books, 10 piano books, 10 music sheet books, and that you want to publish them a day. Every day you want to publish 10, 10, 10, 10. Now, you just go and download all the things that you think you're going to need for those books. Now, to cut long story short and to not to make this a long video, let's go ahead to Creative Fabrica, and I want you to search for this. Search for Big Gnomes Digital Stamps Coloring Page. Now, I'm just going to copy it. Once you go to Creative Fabrica, you can see over here that we have the search bar, and we can just search for whatever we want. So let's search for this. Let's do what we want. I'll do what I want. Remember that video? It was very funny. But anyways, we have this and we have this. So, I mean, just choose whichever one you like. I just happen to like this one best because I think these ones are with the more clear lines, and this is going to be a very, very easy book or coloring book for children. The other one does not have a solid black trait, and so I'm just going to go with this one. Now you click on it, and once you click on it, you will go to a page where you would be able to download this. Now click on download, and pretty simply, these are the designs. Now, let me go to downloads. I put it here. So these are the digital stamps, all right? So if I click on this, for example, this is the first one, this is the second one, the third, the fourth, the fifth, sixth, and going forward. Now, for these, you don't need to remove the background from them because we're not going to create a multicolor book. This is just a coloring book. The page's background is white, pure white, blank. And so we don't have anything to be wary about. So now that we have downloaded this, what you want to do, I want you to go to Canva, click on Create Design, and click Custom Size. Now, instead of this size over here, which was the size of our paperback cover, we don't need this size. So because we're going to be creating multiple pages, I want you to enter a width of 8.5 and a height of 11, because that's the height and width of a page. Now click on Create Design. Now, in order for us to have something like this, now very simple, I just want you to go ahead over here. Let's make this a little bigger. All right, now it looks very fine. And what I want you to do, I want you to click on text and add a heading. Now, make that heading in Montserrat or Montserrat extra bold. And we're going to have to, change this to dwarves. Dwarves. All right, so dwarves, and let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's make it to 70. Let's take it up to the top. Now, up to the top. All right, now in order to limit this, what I want you to do is a very simple tip. Go to Elements and search for this one over here. Search for shapes or rectangle. Rectangle. All right, rectangle. Now, once you search for that, you're going to have all these rectangles over here, but we only want this one because this one is the one that we're looking for. So click on it. You can change the color, for example, to blue if you don't like that color. And what I want you to do, I want you to slide this until you see this rectangle. Now, you see the red rectangle? You can see it very well. So slide it, slide it, slide it up until the top. And then we're going to take this and slide it over here until we see the rectangle again. And then I want to slide it down until we see the rectangle again. Well, let's just, I don't know, but I'm not able to see it for some reason. See the middle? All right, so now, well, if I slide it a little bit, you can see that we have our rectangle pretty well. Now, I want to click on this and just simply duplicate it. And instead of dwarfs, I want to say something like coloring book. I want to make it smaller, so I'm going to just select all of this. I want to make it, for example, 35. And then I want to duplicate this as well. And I want to scroll it down here and change it to for children. Or for kids, for example. Kids sounds better. All right, so now what I want to do, I want to take this a little bit over here. And I want to take this a little bit over here. And I want to go to my uploads. Now, I have already uploaded these PNG, these images that I'm going to use. If you want to know how to upload them, just click upload files and upload whatever files you want to upload. Now let's say, for example, that for the first page after the paperback cover, let's say that I want to use this as the image. Now I just take this and I'll just make it smaller, and yeah, so make it a little smaller, and you can see pretty much that this is it. Now center that, it's centered, perfect. And for kids, I want to make it here or place it a little bit here. And then obviously we're going to have to add the copyright. Now for the copyright, I just want you to go and visit this website called thebookdesigner.com/sample-copyright-page/. And you can see here the copyright text. I want you to just click on this copyright and copy paste this copyright text. Now let's go over here and basically let's go to text. Click on here, and basically we'll just have to take this down over here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to paste this. Now I want to change the font from that to Monsterrat, and just Monsterrat, not Monsterrat Classic. I want to click on, I want to just click on this, all of this. I want to change it to Monsterrat Classic, or I think Monsterrat is better. Anyways, and I want to trim it down to, for example, a 9 or something. Or let's say 9 is so small. 11 maybe. Well, 11 sounds very good. Very good. So now I want to center this. I want to make sure it is centered. It is centered indeed. And so I want to change this from copyright C 2010 to, first of all, 2022 by, for example, let's say XYZ company. XYZ company, all rights reserved. Anyway, so now it is fine. So what I want to do next is to create the second page. Now, in order to create the second page, I just want to click on this page right here. And I don't know, I cannot duplicate. Well, I can duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate it. And instead of these, I'm going to remove them. I'm going to simply remove these. And I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to click add the page. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this second page, and I'm going to take it from here, and I'm going to have to move it. Let's see. Move down. All right. So now you can see the pattern. We have a page that's going to be full, a page that's going to be empty, and a page that's going to be full, and then a page that's going to be empty. So that's the pattern that we're going to have. Duplicate, move down, until we have about 40 pages. Write this, and I come here, duplicate, move down, create page, duplicate, move down, create page, duplicate, move down, create page until we have about 40. All right, duplicate, down, create page, go on top, duplicate, move down, create a new page, duplicate, move down, create new page, duplicate, move down, create new page, then duplicate, move down, create new page. Now it sounds it sounds a little not really that good because I'm repeating myself, but I'm not crazy. I'm just repeating myself. Duplicate page, get it down, then add page, then duplicate this one, put it down, add a new page. Now there's only 13 pages to go. Duplicate, put it down, add new page, duplicate, put it down, add new page, duplicate, put it down, add new page, duplicate, put it down, add new page. Now, how many pages are left? About 6. So duplicate, move down, add page. Now there is not much left. Duplicate, and I'm just gonna click over here, duplicate, and move down. And now we have 39. All right, so let's just there's only one last one to go. And yeah, so it's gonna be like this. So I click over here and then duplicate it. Well, fine. Now we have 40 pages. Now, what I want you to go and do, we're gonna have to go and add the designs. We're gonna create the book now. So this is part 1. Please tune in for part 2. And I'm gonna show you exactly how you can add create an impressive book. And we're gonna upload it together on the Amazon KDP platform. Right now, well, the first page or the second page, let's go ahead and upload something to it. Now, let's go to the uploads. And let's, for example, pick this B over here. Now, it fits perfectly into this, but we need to create more duplicates of it. Make smaller duplicates, for example. Duplicate this. And yeah, make, for example, this like this. Put it right here. Then, for example, duplicate this and then make it a little smaller. Add it here. For example, make it a little less smaller. Yep, this one. I mean, it always serves better to add or to remove the background from the images. Now, what I want to do, I want to go and take a text, add a heading, and not a heading, I should prefer subheading. And I would just want to pick this subheading and put it right here on top and add an instruction to the child. If the child is able to write and read, then generally they're able to understand instructions. So I'm going to say something like color the lovely bee. And this monster rat extra. Oh, okay, so I think this one is good. So now that's the first page. Now the third page I said it should be blank. So let's go to the fourth page. On the fourth page, for example, let's add another. Let's upload another, for example, this. And scroll down. Take it down a little bit. Take it down a notch. This up to the top to make sure that it is in the circle. And take this away. All right, so let's trim it down. Let's trim it down even more. And let's, for example, add another flower, smaller one. For example, this one over here. And let's add another one, smaller than that, over here. And let's say something like color the lovely flower again. So I'm going to go on top and I'm going to duplicate this. Take it, scroll down, keep holding, and put it right here. Color the flower in rose. And I'm going to take this. So color the flower in rose. That's also an instruction, right? Make sure it is in the middle. So let's go to the page number 6. Click on the page. Then let's add, for example, a honey well. And let's add an instruction that says color the honey well as well. Let's just make it just a single honey well. And for example, let's pick a bee. For example, this bee. And let's add it. Let's make it a little bigger. Put it here. And let's say color the honey well and the bee. So let's duplicate this. let me take it, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and put it right here. Color the Honeywell and the bee. And for example, let's, right, so this needs to be a little smaller. Color the Honeywell and the lovely bee. Forgot to add the lovely bee. All right, so added successfully. Place it a little bit up here. And let's go to the page number 8. Now, page number 8, let's say, for example, let's add this. And add this as an image. Trim it down. Trim this down as well from here. Trim this down as well from here. And then trim this down as well from here. And then click, for example, this. Duplicate it. And then scroll down to the bottom. Put it right here. And let's say something like color the Honeywell and the tree. Honeywell, right? Honeywell and the tree. Let's change. Let's just keep it like that. All right. So image or page number 10. Let's say for page number 10 that we want to add the magicians. Let's pick this magician, for example, and or this honey protector, whatever that is. And let's, for example, say color that. Let's make it to the, and let's say here, let's take this one, for example, duplicate it, drag and drop it down, put it right here, and let's say color the wizard, and color the hero wizard. Make it a little bigger. All right, perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, so now let's go to page number 12. All right, so we are now at page number 12. Let's take this one, for example, and let's maybe trim it down a little bit. All right, trim this down as well. Trim this down as well. And let's, for example, say something like duplicate this. Let's take this one. Let's take this one, drag and drop it, and place it right here on top and say color the lovely girl. Little girl. Let's make it like this because I want little and lovely to go together. Let's center this, perfectly centered. Let's go to page 14. Now, page 14, for example, let me select this, and all right, so I want to take it down. Take it. All right, so put it right here, trim it, and trim it from this side, and trim it from this side as well, trim it from this side. And then let's take this, put it here, and let's say something like color that. So let's go up here, duplicate, take this, drag and drop it, put it right here, and then color. I don't know what they call this, but it's called normally honeycomb because that's where honeys get together to produce the honey. Let's enlarge and make this larger. I'm going to click on it and center it. Perfect. I want to make it bigger. I don't know why, but I just want to make it bigger. And perhaps I'm gonna trim it down and duplicate it. So I'm gonna click this, duplicate, make it smaller, put something here. For example, make this one a little smaller. And yeah, very good. Duplicate. All right, make this. Figure I need to make it a little smaller. Yeah. So now, and why not a small b as well? So make a small b and put it right here. You can always use this to go back to or to undo a certain action that you don't want to produce. And yeah, so let's trim this down. Let's trim it down. Trim it down. And here we have our 14th page. Now let's go to the 16th page. Click on the 16th page. Then let's, for example, say this. Add a honey to it. Trim it. Trim it, trim it, trim it from here again, and let's take this, trim it as well. Let's trim this as well. So this is just, you can see this is a simple process, and you can create a pretty good book. Take this, let's go to the top and take this instruction, for example, duplicate it. Let's take it and drag and drop it. Let's put it here, for example, and say color the honey well, and do not color the lovely bee. This is purely an exercise because I want to see if children will be able to do things as instructed. So this is an instruction: color this, but do not color this, which is an exercise book, right? So you don't want to tell children to color things all the time. You want to make sure that they also know that some things are better not be colored, or better not be colored. Yeah, that's it. So that's the word for it. Page number 18, for example, let's pick this, and let's add an instruction that says something like, do not color the dwarf. Duplicate. All right, duplicate here and say something like, all right, let's go back a little. Go here. Let's say something like, do not color the dwarf. And let's take this page as well. Let's take this page, and what I want to do, I want to delete this. I want to delete this page. I want to go to the top, and I want to duplicate the same one. All right, duplicate the same one, and I want to take it to the bottom. And what I want to do, I want to say color the honey well, and not the dwarf. This is another instruction. So I want them to just color the honey well, but not the dwarf. And I want to, for example, let's duplicate this and take it down, and then obviously the one next to it, let's just delete it. And I want to say something like color the rose on the dwarf. And then, for example, I want to duplicate this one as well, drag it here, delete the other one, and say something like color the dwarf's hat, or the hat on the dwarf. Right, color the hat on the dwarf. So these are all instructions, and they are absolutely not like, so this is an exercise that involves children's cognitive abilities to see whether or not they will be able to cope with instructions and to read instructions, because most children will just take this book and they will just start coloring the dwarf from top to bottom. So this is a pretty good logical exercise for fathers to be able to see if their children are pretty good at reading. That's a goddamn good skill to have nowadays, to have your child good at reading. So let's take this instruction, for example, duplicate it, and then I want to say something like color the lovely dwarf girl, or dwarf princess. Let's say dwarf princess. Maybe I want to add a crown on the dwarf princess. Let me go ahead and see if I can add a crown. So I'm going to go to elements, search for crown, because the princess does not have a crown here. And let's scroll down and see if we can find a free image that might match this. I don't see one clearly, to be exact. Well, I think this one fits perfectly, so I'm going to take it. And instead of the color, I'm going to choose the color white. Yeah, so this color is, yep. And I want to just make this a little smaller. I want to put the crown on top of the princess's head. Yep. All right, so now we are at page 28. Yeah, so let's click on page 28, go to the uploads. Let's, for example, say that I want to just upload this, and I'm going to ask them a question now. I'm going to say something like, is the dwarf, or what color is the rose? Something like that. I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm going to drag and drop this down and say something like, what color is the rose? Is the rose, but then I need to have a field where they can answer the question. So I'm going to go to text. I'm going to select this. I'm going to make it a little bigger, and I'm going to say add dots over here. So small dots. Right, so I'm going to make sure I add some small dots to allow them space to answer the question. Yep. So click over here and add it to the middle. Yep, so it's in the middle. And you can see that that's a question that I asked the kids. Let's add another question, for example, what color is the hat of the dwarf? Duplicate page, drag and drop it, delete the other page. What color is, for example, the hat? Or duplicate this as well, add it here, for example, and then delete the one next to it. And say something like, what color is the, let's say, the hair on the dwarf princess? Little princess. Yep, and now what I want to do, I want to drag this down to the bottom, drag this down to the top, and I want to take this, drag it here to allow for a space to answer the question. Now let's keep going now. Let's go to uploads, go to, for example, page 34. Let's say, for example, that we want them to answer another question. Or, yep, so what color are carrots? Let's add a question that says, for example, what color are carrots? So duplicate this, take it, drag and drop it, and let's say something like, what color are carrots? All right, what color are carrots? And obviously, carrots are in orange, or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm not that big of a veggie guy. Okay, so click on this. Let's make it, trim it down because I need to make it a little bigger and I don't want this to go out of proportion. All right, so yeah, it's bigger. And let's say something like a question, the field of answer here. Duplicate this, scroll down, and add it over here. What color are carrots? All right, so page number 36, and let's add another exercise for the kids. For example, let's add something like this. Well, this one and this one, and let's say which one is bigger, something like that. So I want to make one bigger than the other. And I want to say which honeycomb is bigger. Right, check this, and yeah, I'm going to trim it down, and I'm going to ask the kids a question. Which honeycomb is bigger? I want to make this one the smaller one, and I'm going to make this the bigger one. Place them next to each other's. Make this clearly bigger. And I'm gonna say a question that entails which one is bigger, to see if they're gonna be able to recognize which one is bigger. Now, all right, so duplicate, drag and drop it, and come here, and I say something like, which honey comb is bigger? Question mark. Take this to the top a little bit, and then let's go and just duplicate the field of answer, and duplicate the field of answer. But generally speaking, you can see that the kids would not be able to say which one if we don't give each one a number. So let's give this one the name A, or let's refer to this with A and this with B. So I'm going to go to text. I'm going to take a subheading. I'm going to add A, for example. Make it a little bigger. Let's say 50. Let's make it bold. Trim it a little bit. Click. And let's take this one, for example, put it right here. Put it right here. And duplicate it. And instead of A, let's put B. B. All right, B. So now the kids will be able to answer which one is bigger. Is it A or is it B? Normally it's B. I'm just kidding, it's A. All right, so now let's go ahead and complete the book. Now there's only 4 pages left. Well, basically there is just 2 pages left, technically, because the other pages are bland. And let's go to page 38, for example, go to the uploads, and let's, for example, pick this one over here. And all right, let's trim it down. Trim this one down, click. Well, it's already trimmed down, so let's just take it, make it a little bigger, and then ask a question, for example, to the kids, something like duplicate, take this, or take it, drag and drop it. and let's put it over here and say something like, or ask something like, how old is this dwarf wizard? And obviously I want the dwarf wizard and the dwarf and the wizard to be in the same line. I want to click this, and I want to make this a little bit smaller, right? Put it here, drag and drop it down, and then I want to go to the top. I want to take this. First of all, I want to take this, duplicate, well, just click on it, duplicate it, and then I'll just click it, drag and drop it down. And then I'm going to say here, on the wizard, I'm going to add his age. So I'm going to go to text, or instead of text, I'm just going to click over this one, duplicate it, and then drag and drop it. I'm going to add it over here and say something like 81 years old. And then let's change the size of this to, for example, 30. Let's make it like this. Right, so I've already given them the answer, so let's see if they're gonna take it. Let's see if they're gonna see the answer. All right, so yeah. So if they look at this, they're gonna be able to say, well, he's 81 years old. 81 years old, right? Perfect. Now the last page is left, so let's go there, which happens to be the last page exactly. And I'm just gonna click duplicate this one. I'm gonna put it to the bottom, and then I'm gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna say something like, what color is the dwarf beard's wizard? Or what color is the wizard's dwarf, or the dwarf wizard's beard? What color? Right, so the question is simple. What color is the dwarf wizard's beard? All right, so, yep. And technically, let's just click on this, put it in the middle, click on this, drag it to the top. Then, yeah, the color is obviously white. The color of the beard is white. And so, yeah, we've just wrapped up with our book. Now, the last thing to do would be to take away those rectangles, those blue rectangles, because we don't want them to appear with our book. So I'm just going to delete them, each and every single one of them. So we're going to go and delete each and every single one of them. Now, of course, delete, delete, delete. So good to delete stuff. Click delete, delete, delete as well, then delete as well. Then we are just about 10 pages to go. Not that much. Let's keep on deleting. Keep the deletion, guys. Keep the deletion. Delete, 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 delete. Delete this one as well. Delete this one. And delete the last one. All right, so now our file is ready to download as a PDF. So I'm just going to go ahead to share, click on it, and then I'm going to click download. And then instead of PNG, I want to click PDF print, and then download the PDF print. And obviously, if I go to my list of downloads, I'll be able to see this one being downloaded. Well, let's just see it again. I don't know if it was downloaded completely. Yeah, it was downloaded. So what I'm going to name it as is I'm going to name it as paperback. All right, paperback cover for gnomes, or dwarf coloring book, paperback gnomes, or for video tutorial, and give it a 1. And then this one, obviously, where is our paperback? Right, this one, paperback cover, not this one, refuse. So let's go and check our paperback cover. All right, so where it is, where is it? Sorry. All right, so this is our paperback cover. This is one, well, we can use this one because this is not the one that we created, but we can still use this one. I like this one better. So I'm just going to click download this because I've lost the other one. And I'm going to name it paperback cover for sample video. And I'm going to say something like 1. And then in the next video, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how we can upload that. I'll download this as well. Download it and name it video 2, for example, to have multiple choices. So we now 23 was accidentally. And let's open up the PDF now. Well, it says impossible to access. I don't know why. Because the PDF was obviously not suppressed. We just changed the name. So let's open it up. It's not opening. All right, so I had to open it with Foxit because I have a problem with PDF right now. I think I'm going to sue them. I'm just kidding. Well, you can see now the book interior. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Dwarf's Coloring Book, Color the Lovely Bee. Then we have this page, Color the Flower and Rose. Then we have Color the Honeywell and the Lovely Bee. And so you can see that this is quite a good book interior. So now, in the next videos, let's go ahead and see how we can upload this to KDP without a single problem.